Hi everyone, Armored Pants here, and I have a new video for you in the new Japanese TD line. It's the Tier 7, the Cheeto SPG, as in self-propelled gun. Now to get to this tank you need to play the Japanese Tier 6 Cheeto medium tank, and there is a full guide to that on channel, and I will leave a link in the description for you in case you're grinding up. We're going to have a look at the tech spec, and as always we will use blitzhanger.com. This is a video first because it's the first video in this new TD Japanese line. It's also the first video in our second series of premium tank giveaway. So there is a code word hidden in this video. Write it down when you see it. Collect all three. There'll be two more in subsequent videos over the next couple of weeks. Then on April 24th, we will have a draw and the winner will be announced. Collect all three words. Just email me the three words if you want to send a nice message or a bad message or whatever you'd like to say to me. You can also include that, but all you need to send are the three words, the three code words that'll be in three different videos, and send it to me here, armoredpants@gmail.com. Last time we gave away a Tier 9 AMX medium 30 Premier Proton and a Smasher, which was in one of the Tier 7 boxes. Now, if you want to use Blitzhanger and you don't want to type the name of the tank but want to find it by filter, this is how you do it. And then you select the tank as we see here. We select the Cheeto SPG, and here we go. So in terms of the tank itself, I would run white rice because you want to maximize view range and reload. There are two guns available. There's an 88mm and a 105mm. The 88mm lacks a little bit of pen, a little bit of DPM, therefore the 105mm gun is the one you want to get. It has much better DPM, pen, damage, etc. Plus if you're up tiered, you're really going to need that extra bit of pen. Now, the gun system is fantastic on this tank, and indeed this tank is overall a fantastic tank. You get 215mm of pen with AP. If you use gun rammer, 226 if you use calibrated shells. AP is your standard round on this gun system. The Pramo is not APCR, but it is a advanced type of AP, but not called APCR, but effectively you can regard it as APCR. It has many of the same characteristics. The pen on that is 265mm of pen with this Pramo, this enhanced AP. 278 if you use a calibrated shells, and 60mm if you use gun rammer, 66mm with HE if you use calibrated shells. Reload time with gun rammer 6.4 seconds, which is brilliant because you're doing 310 plus damage each round. Even if you run calibrated shells at 6.88, still pretty good. You get 10 degrees of gun depression as well. Yep, exactly, 10 degrees of gun depression with that excellent firing system, and 15 degrees of elevation, which means this tank has excellent gun alignment. Gun alignment is the ease with which you can align your barrel with the enemy, and this has really excellent gun alignment. It's also fast. It does 45 kilometers per hour, 18 in reverse, although we do know that the top speed isn't really indicative of its maneuverability or agility. That also depends largely on the power to weight ratio, and in this tank the power to weight ratio is pretty good. It's not fantastic, but it is decent. Therefore this is a mobile TD as well. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, it's mobile, it's got a great gun, it's got great DPM, it's got a very accurate gun too. It also has decent reverse, it's a good brawler. So you're probably thinking, okay, well it has no armor, right? So it's, well, when we're going to look at the armor profile, you'll see it does, and that's why this is such a good tank. Also, another bonus, the camo numbers are super, just off the charts. The thing you're going to come up against with the best view range is maybe an RU-251 if you're up tiered. That has 304 meter view range. That still needs to get within 203 meters of you to spot you, and even if you're moving and firing, it needs to get in 266 meters of you. That's if you run camo net, of course, and we know if your camo is blown, you go out of sight. At 11 seconds your camo is reset and you're back to those amazing numbers. So this tank is just fantastic camouflage numbers. And that's, by the way, against the RU, which is the best view range. Anything else with less view range, you're going to be even better. Now, look at the front of this tank. It has armor too. as we just look at the gun depression there. Look at those relative armor numbers on the side. You can side scrape in this thing. Front on, you're going to bounce shots as well. If you move an angle and create higher relative armor numbers, you're even going to bounce from big tier 8 guns like the 122mm gun on the IS range. You don't have armor on the sides or back, but I mean, come on, there has to be some limitations. It has to be balanced somehow. But look at this, if you're against tier 6 tanks, almost impossible to pen front on. Even against your peers in tier 7, you have a very good chance of bouncing. And even against tier 8s, look at that. You know, the front on this thing is a monster. And if you know how to angle and maximize those relative armor numbers, it's even better. Now, as if that weren't enough, its dispersion, that is its maximum deviation from the target, is excellent. It's 0.277. What does that mean? Well, that means that if you're firing a target 100 meters away, you can miss, the maximum amount you can miss is 27.7 centimeters. Or of 100 meters, it's 0.277. That's really good. So that means it's a really accurate gun with great handling. That, of course, if you use refined gun, which you should do on a TD. Muzzle velocity is also pretty good with supercharge, which you should be using on a TD, by the way. It's 1235 meters per second with AP and HE. If you go up to Pramo, it's 1300 meters per second, so it's even faster. So the muzzle velocity is good for tier 7 TD as well. I mean, just to put that in context, against an SU-152 or something like that, has about 450 meters per second faster muzzle velocity. Now let's have a look at some gameplay. This is a supremacy game on desert sands, and there's a sniper badge here. And why am I showing this? Well, I think if you've got a TD, and we've said this before when we looked at the TD guide, the badges that you really want to get when you're in a TD are sniper badge, master gunner, Confederate, Top Gun, right? Mastery badges, of course, are great, but you know, sniper, tanker, master gunner, they're the kind of badges that you want with a TD. It shows whether or not you're an effective TD player and if your TD itself is effective. So we're going to have a look here, and you know, this tank really is very effective, I have to say. We've looked at dispersion, we've looked at the gun handling, we've looked at the muzzle velocity, we've looked at its reload, we've looked at its armor. It's also mobile. You know, this tank is just I'm tempted to say it's OP. I don't think it is OP, because if something gets to the sides and back of you, you're going to suffer very badly. But it's certainly an excellent TD. For those of you who play TDs, you will enjoy it. Let's have a look at some of the gun handling here on it, and let's see the actual gun dynamics that we spoke about in action, right? So Helsing, it's a small target, right? Difficult to hit, but look at that shot. I mean, it also has those acute angles, and it's very easy to get bounces off Helsings over such a distance like that. Not a problem for this tank. Pam, straight through. Then you've got that really fast reload. Look, reloaded already, ready to put in another 310 plus damage. With those camo numbers, I'm going to remain unspotted here for the whole of this engagement on the right hand side of the map at A. Those of you who've adopted positions like that before, you often get spotted up here and get smashed if there's another TD on the other end of the tracks. I stay unspotted the whole time we're engaging these mediums over here on the right hand side. So, you know, this tank is just really, really good. Again, look at this, and slow it down. Look at this shot on the Panther, just tracking him, and I'm really confident in the gun on this, and then just smash, unleash the shell, and get a really, really nice hit on him. Bam, straight in, there you go. Small target, with another gun you might have bounced, but this is a 105mm, it has great pen, and it just smashes that Panther into the butt. You know, this tank, I have to say, it really, if you are a good TD player, you're going to love this. If you haven't played TDs but want to explore this line, you are going to do very well. And I would have to say, I actually have to say that if you want to start playing TDs, this is a really, really good line to start with. And what I would suggest to you is we just look here at this other shot again. Look at the muzzle velocity, the dispersion, the accuracy. Bam, straight into him. Standard roll, perfect roll, you could say, because it's exactly what you should be doing in that tank. 310 damage, you know, but you're spilling that 310 damage out every 6.4 seconds. It's just poof. My allies clear off the Panther at A, so I'm going to move to engage. This game is already over now. I've played a good role supporting my team, been a good TD, getting my sniper tanker badge, you know, coming in here behind to help them mop up now that I have no more targets. So I'm no longer sniping there, I'll be just camping if I was sitting there. So I move to engage, get more targets, open up new lines of fire. And you know, this tank is just great. If you are thinking about playing TDs and you haven't played them before, then this, as I said, is a good line to start with. It really is very, very good. There's no bad tanks in this line, by the way. You know, as we go through them up to tier 10, they're all excellent. And what I would recommend is go and watch the TD guide that we have on channel. Watch the sniping guide that we have on channel. And then you'll have all of the skills, all of the knowledge that you need to start on your way to becoming a good TD player. There we are, sniper badge delivered. I think also I did top damage in this game, and that's really what you look for in a tank, right? You want to see, can you get a sniper tank master gunner badge in it, and you will get them no problem in this tank because it is just excellent. It is excellent at the role that it has as a TD, and as you get more comfortable with it, especially if you're top tier, you can even play this as a frontline tank. If you're top tier, particularly if the heavies on the other team are tier 6s, you can bully them with that frontal armor and that gun. I mean, if you go up against something like an IS or a KV-1S in this thing, right, they have, you know, really long, it depends on how they're running it, but somewhere around 13, the KV-1S, if you're on a big gun, 16 to 18 second reload, you're going to be pumping rounds into him 3 for every one of his. It's just incredible stuff, right? You can out DPM most things in this tank. Let's have a look at another game. This is a supremacy game on Canyon. It's a loss, but I'm going to put it up because it's a great demo of the characteristics of this tank. And you know, it's all very well looking at mastery games and that all the time, but I have to say, you know, and as I always say on channel, losing is as much part of playing Blitz as winning. And actually, I really enjoyed this game, even though I lost it. I mean, I don't care about losing games. You know, I mean, even if you're running a 70% win rate, you're still losing 3 out of every 10 games, you know, and if you're running a 60% win rate, which people think is a really good one, you're still losing almost half your games, right? So, I mean, losing is just a natural part of playing Blitz. As I said before, every Blitz game, 7 of the players who start that game are going to lose, right? So every game that's played, half the people lose. You know, you just need to accept it, right? And, you know, if you accept that, then you know you're going to be a much better Blitz player. You're going to enjoy it a lot more, and you're going to be a better human being, I would suggest. Although that's enough of the Zen stuff here. Now, what I've done here is this sort of symbiotic relationship between different tank types, right? So what I've done is I've gone to a position on this map where I can support other tanks that are spotting up the enemy. So I'm hoping that I can adopt a position where I can fire into enemy tanks and support my allies. Now normally in this map, if you've got an experienced medium player, light player on your team, he will go to B and spot up. We didn't seem to have, so our IS-3 has gone up there. IS-3, by the way, you'll see here, I have no idea what he's doing, but he's going to get smashed in a second and be out of the game. You know, we've discussed it in the Advanced Blitz tutorial that each tank has a different relationship. Each tank has a different relationship to other tanks. So, for example, the light tanks and medium tanks are the eyes of TDs, and the TD's job is to take advantage of the spotting they do for them and put in some damage and support them. So I've tried to adopt in this role here where I can support my team by opening up multiple fields of fire. Again, look at how good that gun is. Just smashes into the smasher, if you'll pardon the pun. And now, look at this. This is about this reload. I dropped the adrenaline. Another TD, that smasher would have gotten away. Not with this tank. You know, dropped the adrenaline, and the reload is so fast that I get 2 rounds into that smasher man to clear him off. Here I hold my nerve, and what I do here is I utilize the absolutely stunning muzzle velocity on this gun the stunning dispersion numbers, and I just get right into the eye of a needle shot on him as he's pulling back. If you're wondering why he missed and I hit him, that was an aiming time battle. He didn't allow his aiming roundel to settle on me. He rushed his shot, whereas I had pre-aimed and took my time on him. That is basically what it's about. And oftentimes in games, players who are a bit inexperienced think that's down to RNG and is, oh well, I missed and you hit. It's actually not. It's to do with the fact that you didn't take a proper aim, and then you actually exponentially increase the dispersion on tank, and that's why the shell misses. So it's actually physics, not necessarily a random computer code as in RNG. I wanted to show you here. You see the bounce I get off the front. I know that that is a tier 7 with not such a big gun, but you know, you can only do what you can do against who you're opposing, and then you get 3 bounces off him. And here's the thing about this tank as well, when you are playing it for maybe, you know, 40-50 games or whatever, as I played at this stage, you have real confidence in it. I have no problem whatsoever in going up against this medium tank, and normally if you're in TD you'd be thinking, okay, I'm gonna get circle of death here, he's gonna outgun me, especially a fast firing tank like this. No, this is a great brawler. If you know what you're doing, keep your cool, you can just smash medium tanks even if they're a tier above you. Now I lose this game here. I'm going out to cap. I know I need to cap because they're base down, and I don't reset my camo, and I take a massive round from the Scorpion up the ass, big Freddie Mercury round for me, and that 400 plus alpha roll he hit me for there actually is why I lose this game. But you know, you can't win them all, and you have to go to, I had to go and try and cap, or else we were going to lose some points anyway. So I cap here. We've got 2 bases now, but I'm 2 against 1, and this is something that we've also discussed on channel several times before, right? If you're in a situation against you know, a decent player, and it's 2v1, come both sides of him, because the gun can only face one way. Now I know this Scorpion is coming this way, but then I see that the IS-3 is in front of me and he's trying to cap. So I have no choice but to engage him. I'm going to lose anyway, right? So I may as well try to take him out. I have to use my Pramo to pen him at that distance. But look, this is what I'm saying about his gun. See that bounce from him? How many tier 7s are going to bounce a shot from an IS like that with the frontal armor? I mean, it's really good. But those guys did the right thing, right? The Scorpion came the other side of me. Your gun and armor can only face one way, and if I had had the extra hit points I'd lost to him, I maybe might have been able to take him out by ramming him and putting a HE round into him. Then the IS-3 is a one shot for me, and that probably would have delivered a mastery badge and a win. But they did the right thing, and it doesn't matter who you are. You could be the most super unicorn player in the world. If you're attacked from both sides, you're gonna die by 2 players who know what they're doing. They could be inferior to you. They could be 40% win rate players, and you could be 70% win rate player. But if they come at you from 2 different sides, you can only angle one way, you can only fire one way, they will win. And that's what those guys did there. It was very sensible and a good win for them. But as I said, it was a great game in that tank. I really enjoyed it. In the end, it was a close run thing. Could have maybe won, but you know, you don't. And I'm happy to just have enjoyed the game, because it was a really, really good game. I really enjoyed it. I did well. I played well for my team. I did my role. I did what I was supposed to do, and that's all you can do. And also, by the way, I was able to record a game, which is a great demonstration of this tank's strengths, right? Its strengths are that gun, its frontal armor, the dispersion. By the way, I forgot to mention, it also has really low aiming time. It's less than 2 seconds, which for TD is fantastic. So you know, this is just a really, really great tank. And I think that game was a great demonstration of its strengths at play. So let's have a recap. This is a super TD, really, really great tank. You're going to enjoy it. If you're a TD player, it's going to be a pleasure for you to play. It's good DPM, good rate of fire, nice alpha rolls, 310 up to 388, which is our max alpha roll. It's agile and mobile for a TD, you know, gets around the map, it can move. It has, 105mm gun, which is just super. The gun system is amazing. Low aiming time, low dispersion, good muzzle velocity, good reload, everything you could need. 235 or 1300 meters per second on muzzle velocity, whether in an APHE versus Pramo. 10 degrees of gun depression as well. Yeah, as if you didn't have enough, you get 10 degrees of gun depression too. So excellent gun alignment. And has low dispersion, that is the maximum deviation from your target, so it means it has better gun handling than most TDs. I would recommend you use supercharged refined gun and camo net in this tank. It's a great combination, it really plays to the attributes given those concealment numbers this tank has. Decent traverse, as you saw there in the brawl against the Egyptian Sherman. And just overall, just an excellent TD. It's a pleasure to play. Grinding this tank won't be a chore for you. Even with the 88mm gun, it's still pretty good. Before you get Top Gun, you're going to enjoy playing this tank. It really is a pleasure to play. It's something different, something new from Wargaming. If you're a TD player, you won't regret going down this line. The music was Vivaldi's Winter and also Camille Saint-Saëns' Danse Macabre, two really wonderful pieces of music to accompany this wonderful tank. I hope, by the way, you saw the code during the game and you're able to write it down. It's just a word, just one word, write it down. And I guess all remains for me to say is cheers, Mush. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. And keep your masks on and pants off.